सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्. In the third Shatkam, what Paramatma explained so far now is one aspect. Now this is totally a different aspect. In 13, 14 and 15 chapters, Paramatma gave us the knowledge of self, Atma Vidya or Atma Jnanam is thoroughly explained in these chapters. In 16th and 17th, he is taking a new turn, a totally different angle. There is one important rule for this kind of teaching. That is, for a man, his life goal depends on his way of living. It will have connection. So, for a small life goal, he will have the respective endeavors to achieve that. So, whether it is a primary goal or secondary goal or ultimate goal, whatever be the goal, it all depends on his way of living, his style of living. So, his style of living will influence the goal. The goal needs a particular way of lifestyle. So each influence the other. The goal influence the lifestyle, lifestyle influence the goal. So if you live in one style, you cannot choose a different goal. Suppose you are totally mundane in your lifestyle, and you are totally materialistic in your mindset, you cannot set your ultimate goal as Paramatma, because your material mind will not allow you to achieve this goal. So the lifestyle is a very, very important aspect to achieve the goal. So depending on the goal, depending on the target, depending on the lakshyam, you have to mold your way of living. So you may say that I will spend the life the way I want. Then you will not get the goal you set forth. So there should be a kind of alignment. If a tree has to grow big and yield good result, then it requires a proper atmosphere and proper manure and proper place and all that. The same rule works for lakshyam, target, aim, goal. Therefore, the first part of Veda Purvam, will define the lifestyle. And Veda Antabhagam, the philosophy part or the Vedanta, will define the lakshyam of the life, the ultimate goal of the life. If you do not know the Veda Purvam, the first part of the Veda, then you cannot understand the Hindu philosophy. If you do not come to the final part, the concluding part, the culmination, which is Vedanta, then you cannot achieve the ultimate goal, the final goal, the grand finale, the Antima Lakshyam. Therefore, you should learn the lifestyle, you should imbibe the lifestyle which is prescribed in Veda Purva, and then you have to go to the Vedanta Bhaga. In 13, 14, 15 chapters, Paramatma gave us the essence of Vedanta. So he gave us focus on Brahmajnana. So how one should keep his goal as Brahmajnana. One should learn Brahmajnana and stay in that Nishtha and get the benefit of it. Then, if you do not take up the respective lifestyle which will help you for Jnanam, the two, Atma Jnanam, then the knowledge is incomplete. You cannot really yield the benefit. So, the lifestyle of a person depends on his behavior. So, the influence, the behavior pattern, the behavioral pattern of a person influences his lifestyle. Suppose is totally into business, is out and out materialistic. Naturally, his lifestyle will be accordingly designed. Accordingly, it will be taken up. He will not turn towards the spirituality. He will always be counting money and building up assets and finally die. So, if you want to have a relationship between the lifestyle and the lakshyam, you should know what is your ultimate goal, and accordingly you have to mold your behavior and your lifestyle. So, three things are there: your behavior, your lifestyle, and your goal, lakshyam. So, you have to keep all of them in one line. They should all be in alignment. So, this behavior is divided into 4 different types. Sometimes it is called 3 types, sometimes it is called 2 types. Here, the behavioral pattern is divided into 3 types in this particular chapter. One is Dvesha Pradhana behavior. That means the hatred dominant behavior. Then Raga Pradhana Swabhavam, that is attachment dominant attitude or nature. Then third one is Jnana Pradhana Swabhavam. The third one is knowledge dominant behavior. So we'll try to understand each one separate. The first one being Dvesha Pradhana Swabhavam. For some people, this hatredness is dominant. The reason may be many. It may be because of his previous janma, or in this very janma, he must have faced lot of difficulties, lot of oddments, and lot of odd situations. So, because of his insults and all troubles he underwent in the childhood, he becomes such a person. It may be due to parents also sometimes. Suppose he is having a stepmother or stepfather, then he might behave like that. Or sometimes it may be due to friends also. So let us not go to the depths of this situation. Whatever be the reason, the person is a hatred dominant person. For these kinds of people, nothing allures them. They are not happy with anything. Always they find faults. Such a person will find fault even if he is placed in a very comfortable position. Even if he goes to Swarga, he says there is a defect. So he is always in a criticism. He always comments. He comments the government, he comments the family members, he comments the TV programs. He will not spare even God, he comments even God. Sometimes these people, they will not find a vent to express their feelings. So they cannot suppress their feelings. So whatever they see, they burst quickly. So the dvesha will turn out as krodha, anger. More dvesha they have, more anger they trigger. And they behave in a brutal way. For a small things, they burst, they fume. And this kind of prakriti is called Rakshasa prakriti or Rakshasa swabhava. Why they have this kind of Rakshasa swabhavam? Because they have this dvesham and they do not have a proper channel to express their dvesham. And such a people are, very difficult to handle. Rakshanti janaha yebhyaha iti rakshasaha. So these people are called rakshasas, though they live among us. Rakshasas need not be in Puranic age. They are right in front of us, right among us. So those who are, they cannot accommodate, they cannot show compassion. On the contrary, they show dvesham and krodham. They are called rakshasas. Rakshanti janaha yebhyaha iti rakshasaha. So, whenever we face such people want some protection. They want to go away from them and they seek protection from these people. So, this is a dvesha pradhana swabhava. They will not care others. Even if they face elders, they don't care. They simply burst out. They use unparliamentary language. They hurt others and they enjoy by hurting others. So this is the category, this is the way of behavior, and this behavior is called Rakshasa Subhava. So they need not have, the demonish face and the horns and all that. Their behavior is the demonish behavior, Rakshasa Pravritti. Now we'll go to the second type of the behavior, that is Raga Pradhana Subhava. This is totally different from Dvesha Pradhana behavior. In these people, Ragam is predominant. So they gel with everything quickly and they cannot get detached from those things. They woo things very quickly. They have lots of desires. So to accomplish these desires, they do a lot of karmas. What type of desires do they have? They need fame. They need good name. They want lots of money. They want status. They want comfort. For them, life means happiness and nothing but happiness. Their mind will not go towards the spirituality. They don't have time to think of God and spirituality. Everything they take it light and easily. With these people, there is no harm to the society, unlike the first category. They won't harm anybody. at the same time, this Raga Pradhana people, they are not benefited spiritually. Because Raga Pradhana life will turn out to be Kama Pradhana life, desire full of life. They want lots of things to be accomplished. They always run around. They are totally extrovert. They want money, then status, fame. So they run after the world to achieve this. They cannot spare a minute to look inward. Antarmukhatvam is not there. So, this kind of behavior is not good for spirituality, because there won't be any upliftment, spiritual upliftment. They stay where they are. They don't fall down, nor they go up. The only good thing in them is they do not hurt anyone. They will not do any kind of harm to others. They will not insult the spiritual people. At the same time, they cannot take up spirituality. So they are neither down nor up. They are there wherever they are. They are static in their spiritual level. So they don't want to pursue spirituality. They want to earn and earn and earn until the last breath. And they will argue, why do you require God to earn and enjoy? If you toil, if you work hard, you will get money. And if you spend money, you get happiness. Why God is involved? Where is God's role in this? That's what they argue. One housewife, she said to his husband, who is extrovert and who is into this rat race, she wanted him to come to Gita classes. So he said these teachings are required for weaklings and the people who are not healthy. I am quite all right. I can do lots of things in this world. I can take up new ventures and earn more money. Only a weak person will go to Bhagavad Gita. If a person is very strong, he does not require all this. I don't have any problem. Why you want to trouble me? Like that, it seems this husband, who is totally materialistic, told his wife, who is listening to Gita classes. And these people, they are not any problem to us. They talk very nicely. They behave very gentle. But only thing is, they are Nastikas. Their preference to God is very, very least. Even they say, we don't require God. We don't require philosophy. We enjoy the life. Life is given for us for enjoyment. Just like Charvak Siddhantam. So they read paper and read some news items where there will be clashes in religion. They point out, see, this is what happens when you take up spirituality. People fight unnecessarily. They don't have any other work. So, why you want to waste time? You come and join me and learn this stock market tricks. You can also earn like me. So like that, they are more into the worldly things. There's one small article in the newspaper. Swamiji told this. One young girl, she is unmarried. So people came to see her. They seem to be very decently placed. The boy is, well placed and is good looking. Everything is nice. So the parents of this girl thought this will click. After the boys' party left the house, the girl's father asked the girl, everything seems to be nice. The boy is handsome, well placed, and well behaved. So are you interested? Shall we say yes to them? Then she said, I don't like them. Father was surprised. Why? What's the matter? See, all the people who came here, they have that vibhuti and kunkuma. So I don't like these type of old-fashioned people. They are now useless. They are simply idling the time, wasting their time for spirituality and God and all this nonsense. So I don't want to marry. So this is the attitude of Raga Pradhana people. They have more attraction towards the money, towards status, towards the external things, and not towards the inner achievement. So these people are not bad. They have value system. They behave righteous. They think well. They have a good logical base. But they want to be away from the sampradaya. They are totally mundane. Most of the people who settle abroad, not all. There are some people who go abroad and they protect our culture more than the people here. That is also there. But majority of the people, they don't care. They become more westernized. So, like this it is. Asush ramante iti asuraha. Asush means they are more into the luxuries. So luxury is the main target for them. The happiness, the comfort is the only target for these people. So the asura means not necessarily rakshasas. Asushu means the indriyas. They dwell on indriyas. Indriya lolutvam. That means the eyes want to see lots of things. Then ears want to hear more music and a lot of pop music and other things. So like that, they are more into pleasure. So they want to have a lot of hangama, sangeet, all those things. So they're not like the Dvesha Pradhana people. They don't harm. These people, they neither fall nor they grow spiritually. And then the third category is Jnana Pradhana people, Jnana Pradhana Svabhav. So these people, they respect Sampradaya. They see that if a boy is there in the family, they see that he gets Upanayana at the right age and they teach him Sandhya, Vandanam, all those things, the rituals. So they are into the tradition. So they kindle the spirituality in the very tender age. So they grow up with the culture and they imbibe the culture and they nourish it and they protect also. So these people, they have a priority for jnana. And these people, mind you, it is not that they are not materialistic. They do earn. They are intellects. They know how to get name and fame and status. And in fact, they are in the highest top notch of the society. Many people are there who are, very cultured and they respect our tradition and all that. Yet they are in the top notch. So these people, they grow spiritually because they have this spirituality and the upliftment by inner travel. They are outward, at the same time they are inner. They have time to search the inward journey. They also will have the inward journey. So this way there are three types: Daiva Swabhavam, Asura Swabhavam, and Rakshasa Swabhavam. So all the three types of behavioral pattern, Paramatma is using a technical word called Sampatti. Sampatti means wealth. So the behavior is their wealth. For an individual, that is the wealth. So the behavior will help them to achieve their goals. Swabhavam and lifestyle, the behavior and the lifestyle will define your goal. Swabhava will direct you to the lifestyle. That is why it is called Sampatti. If you have wealth, you can buy things. So with this Sampatti, you can buy your target, buy your aim. Therefore, Paramatma gave this topic, this chapter, as Daivasura Sampadvibhaga Yogam. Paramatma titled this as Daivasura Sampadvibhaga Yogam. So Krishna Paramatma is going to tell that if you want to have moksha, or if you want to have some internal freedom, you should acquire these values. So you should acquire Daiva Sampatti. That's what Paramatma wanted to suggest. If you say that I don't want the spiritual knowledge, you cannot impose these values. So those who value moksha, those who value Atma Jnanam, for them they have to have a particular lifestyle which suits their pursuit. Daivi Sampatti they should inculcate. Therefore, you have to be very careful in your behavior when you want to take up the spiritual path. You have to be very moderate in your food habits, in your viewing TV programs, in your TV programs. While reading newspaper, you have to read only limited items. So you have the inclination for getting happiness. So you will have the friends of your liking. If you want to while away the time, then you have friends who suits your temperament. So in the same way, whatever the path, whatever the lifestyle you choose, your lifestyle will direct you towards your goal. Therefore, Paramatma now he is telling what should be your life goal. What should be your ultimate goal in the life? So, Paramatma is giving Vedanta. Paramatma is teaching Vedantam. So far now he talked about Veda Purvam. Now he teaches Veda Antam, Vedantam. That is why the Bhagavad Gita is the essence of Veda. In Veda, we have two portions, Veda Purvam and Veda Antam. Both are important. Both are intertwined. Veda Purvabhagam, Veda Purvabhagam is important because it gives you the qualification for Jnanam. It equips you with a qualification to learn Atma Vidya. And the second portion, Vedantam, will give you jnanam, the Atma Jnanam. So Karma Yogam plus Upasana Yogam plus Jnana Yogam, together we can have moksha. Karma Yogam plus Upasana Yogam plus Jnana Yogam is equal to moksham. So this we have seen a number of times. Karma Yogam and Upasana Yogam both will give you Chitta Suddhi and Chitta Ekagrata, the purification of the mind and one-pointed concentration. And together they will give you Jnana Yogyata, the qualification for acquiring Jnana. Karma and Upasana, they teach you Veda Purvam. Now, we have the 16th and 17th chapter. They talk about the Veda Purvabhagam, which will give you the values for acquiring Jnana Yogyata. In this context, we will enter into the text proper. The first sloka in chapter 16. Sri Bhagavan Guvacha Abhayam Sattva Samsuddhihi Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi Danam Damascha Yajnascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam. Sri Bhagavan Guvacha, Lord Krishna said, Abhayam, fearlessness, Sattva Samsuddhihi, mental purity, Jnana Yoga Vyavastitaha, steadfastness in Jnana and Yoga, Danam, charity, Damahacha, self-control, Yajnahacha, Yajna, Swadhyaya, spiritual study, Tapaha, austerity, Arjavam, straightforwardness, Ahimsa, non-violence, Satyam, truthfulness, Arjavam, Akrodaha, control over anger, Tyagaha, renunciation, Santihi, tranquility, Apaisunam, avoidance of slander, Daya Sarvabhuteshu, kindness towards all beings, Aloluptam, freedom from temptation, Mardhavam, gentleness, Krihi, modesty, Achapalam, freedom from restlessness, Tejaha, smartness, Kshamaha, patience, Dhritihi, fortitude, Saucham, purity, Adroha, absence of ill will, Natimanita, and the humanity, Bhavanti. These belong to Abhijatasya, to a person who is born with Sampadanam Daivam, Daivi Sampat. Hey Bharata, O Arjuna. Here he mentioned a few attributes which will give you the value system. Abhayam Sattva Samsuddhihi Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi Danam Damascha Yajnahacha Swadhyaya Tapa Arjavam. Some more values will come. So if you have all these values, then you are supposed to be born with Daivi Sampatti. So you are having those values which are required for acquiring Atma Jnanam. So we will see what are these Daivi Sampatti qualities. They are mentioned from sloka number 1 up to 3. Paramatma is enlisting all the values. So, in order to learn Vedanta and to stay in that Nishtha, one must have the Jnana Yogyata. Both Jnanam and Jnana Nishtha both Jnanam and Jnananishta are equally important, because after acquiring the Jnanam, if you don't have the Nishta, then you cannot yield the advantage, yield the profit of learning Atma Vidya. So if you want to stay in that Nishta, you should be having all these values. So this chapter also straightaway started by Paramatma. Paramatma wanted to tell him what are the values required in order to imbibe the self-knowledge, in order to acquire the Atma Yogyata. So, if you want to achieve the target, the ultimate target called moksham, you have to choose a lifestyle which suits it. So, if you want to grow a tree, you should know under what condition it will grow. Depending on the soil, depending on the atmosphere, the plants will grow. Certain plants will not grow in cold countries. Like we have this coriander, all these things which are very common here, you don't see that. So, curry leaves, you don't see. Those plants which grow in the cold country will not grow here in the tropical region. So, you should know what type of atmosphere is required and how to grow the plant. In the same way, for Atma Jnanam also, there is a particular way of lifestyle. That's why in the olden days, they used to have a lot of value for Sampradaya. So, if others are not following the same Sampradaya, they never used to gel with each other. So, whenever you want to marry, during marriages, they used to see all these things, whether other person is following the Sampradaya or not, what is their way of living, all these things they used to see. It is not to belittle others. It is only to see that the compatibility is there between the two families. Therefore, Paramatma, Krishna Paramatma, proposed the lifestyle for a person who seeks moksha. This lifestyle is Vaidika Jivana Vidhanam. Under this Vaidika Jivana Vidhanam, there are certain values one has to acquire. All these values together, he called it Daivi Sampatti. These values are not totally new. We have already learnt in the chapter 8 and chapter 12 and also in 13. Amanitvam adambitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam acharyo pasanam saucham stairyam atma vinigraha. So, he also gave the name for this value system. These values, you should not read it just for time pass. Especially when you are learning Bhagavad Gita, it is not a time pass thing. You should learn it as though you are attending a class. So, if you remember, Paramatma gave a name for this value system. That is Jnanam. Etad Jnanam iti proktam ajnanam etad anyadha. So this is called Jnanam. The value system is called Jnanam. If you don't follow, that is Ajnanam. That is Anyatha. So we will see what are all the different values mentioned here one by one and then proceed to the next sloka. Abhayam. Abhayam means courage or Atmastairyam, the self-respect, self-image. You should have trust on yourself. You should have trust on God. You should have trust on Guru. You should have trust on Shastra. More so, you should have trust on yourself. Atma Krupa. You should have Atma Krupa, Shastra Krupa, Guru Krupa, and Daiva Krupa. Atma Krupa is the topmost one. If you have all other Krupas and if you don't have Atma Krupa, you cannot achieve anything. So, to acquire Atma Jnanam, it is like an adventurous journey. It is more adventurous than to, climb Everest. Therefore, this can be treated as Adhyatmika Sahasa Yatra, spiritual adventure. For this, you require Atmastairyam. You should have the courage of your own self. Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhyaha. This Atma cannot be achieved. The Atma cannot be understood by a weakling. That's what we have learnt in Mundaka Upanishad. If you are strong-minded, then only you can understand Atma. So this entire journey is a Sahasa Yatra, is an adventurous journey. First you have to value the target, value your lakshyam, you should value your goal. Then only you can do something. And you should have that perseverance. You should not have looseness in anywhere. Because money has value. Anybody knows it. Even if you ask a child, he can tell you what money can do. Similarly, a status has a value. Property has a value. Power has a value. Many people know about these things and their value. But the value for Atma Jnanam is not known to many. If you want to acquire Atma Jnanam, you should have mental maturity. That mental maturity all do not have. Therefore, Atma Jnanam is not known to many people. That's why not many will come to this learning of self-knowledge. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatadi siddhaye. Therefore, those who come to spiritual journey itself is very rare. And of them, those who come to Atma Jnanam are still rare. So they should have a firm and strong perseverance. So some say that you go alone and enjoy the pleasures of Swarga. Instead of that, even this mundane world offers you Narakam. This is better. The travel, the solitary travel requires adventure. If you want to tread a good path, if you want to take up a good path, there will be many people who dissuade you, who will discourage you. They will try to tease you. They will pull you back. Are you going to Gita Bodha? Are you going to learn Gita? Is it the time for you? What difficulty do you have? Did you lose heavily in your business? Like that, people will pose umpteen questions and try to pull you back from learning Bhagavad Gita. People are under the impression Bhagavad Gita should be learned. People are under the impression that Bhagavad Gita should be taken up only at the ripe old age. Not true. If one learns at a very young age, they will grow to the highest level. Their mental maturity will be so high. They can solve any problem in this world very peacefully with the highest balance of mind. So, if people discourage, naturally the sadhaka gets discouraged and he will not go to Bhagavad Gita class. He will think that, okay, we will see afterwards. Therefore, that kind of assurity, that kind of mental makeup must be there. Whatever the difficulty that I face, it is a solitary journey I must do. So this kind of perseverance is very much required for those who want to learn Bhagavad Gita. So this is one thing. Atmastairyam is a very important value to achieve this lakshyam. One is, one should have the value for your target. You should understand how rare it is and what type of advantage you will get by acquiring the spiritual knowledge, by acquiring self-knowledge. This is to give value for the lakshyam is the first thing. Second thing is saranagati. You have to surrender unto God. So, God also must be favorable to you. You cannot think that you alone are doing this entire thing. It is not my pursuit alone. It is the God's will and God's favorable. It is my toil and God's will which makes me successful. It is my toil and God's will make me successful in my endeavor. That's what you have to understand. So you have to surrender unto God. So Paramatma also assured in Bhagavad Gita, if you depend on me, I will see everything. I will take up everything. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janah paryupasate. If you have to take up the sannyasa, then you have to leave all your, you have to renounce all your property, all your house, all your, family, and then your securities and all that. So you are very unsure about your life thereafter. But nowadays there are ashramas which will cater to the sannyasis. These type of facilities were not there in the past. So even then they used to take sannyasa and they used to live. They had unflinching confidence, trust on God. That is called Saranagati. So this kind of bhakti, vivekam, gives you abhayam. Abhayam means security. So Bhagavan is saying you have to have lot of abhayam by Saranagati, by surrender unto God. Then sattva samsuddhihi. Sattva samsuddhihi means to have a pure mind. Sattva means antakaranam. Samsuddhi means purity. Therefore, it is antakarana suddhi or purity of mind. Healthy thoughts and not to entertain all unhealthy thoughts. Certain food stuff will give health to body. Certain foodstuffs are bad to body. They will be very dangerous for the body. In the similar way, we have to, process certain thoughts, or, they are dangerous for the mind. Certain thoughts are good for the mind. Like, the thoughts like Irsha, Asuya, Dvesham, Bhayam, these thoughts are not good for the mind. They poison the mind. So, they even break the mind, and they make the mind a weakling. They make the person a weakling. Therefore, sattva samsuddhihi means the purity of the mind. So, Paramatma is saying you should have the purity of mind. Jnana yoga vyavastitihi. So, in your journey, what should be your ultimate and final goal? Once you set, you should not leave it in between. Having born as a human being, you should have Atma Jnanam. So, this cannot happen naturally. Certain things will come to you without your effort. Whether you like it or you don't, it will take its own course of action. Like, aging, it will come without your knowledge, without your choice. Your hair turns white, the skin becomes folded, then your body bends. All these things, the old age comes automatically, naturally. But this rule doesn't apply for Jnanam, Atma Jnanam. Not only Atma Jnanam, for that matter, any Jnanam, you have to make effort. Especially when you follow this value system and you lead a very noble life, and you want to acquire physics knowledge. Is it possible if you simply have a good nature and good behavior, you cannot you cannot acquire an MSc degree in physics? It is good to have the value system, but physics cannot, the physics degree cannot come to you just because you are a noble person. What you have to do, you have to go to a university and enroll yourself and study, and then acquire that knowledge. It is not like a leaf falling from the tree. You have to make an effort and get it. Similarly, Atma Jnanam cannot happen on its own. You have to seek a guru. That too, Srotriya Brahmanishta Guru. Once you go to a Srotriya Brahmanishta Guru, then you stay with him for quite long time. You have to do Sravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. So once you do Sravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam, then you acquire the knowledge. Once you acquire the knowledge, then you have to stay in that Jnana Nishta, in that Atma Nishta. So, if you stay in that Atma Nishta for quite some time, you can yield the benefit. That is, you can be peaceful, you can be happy, and you don't worry about the security. All things will take place. Everything will be in order. Everything will be set right by Bhagavan. So, if you don't follow the value system, Jnana Yoga is impossible. Unless and until you come to Jnana Yoga, acquiring the values is futile and it is not of any use. So, this is what we have. And we will learn more about this value system in the next class. Om Tat Sat Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudatyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.